My sister's wedding was on a Saturday in June. I know because my mother called me that evening and described the flowers. White peonies, she said. A lot of candles. The food was good. I was not there. I was at home, in my apartment, having ordered Thai food and watched a movie. And tried not to think about the fact that I had contributed $38,000 to a wedding I was not invited to attend. Not precisely $38,000, $37,940 to be exact, because I had helped my sister plan this wedding for 8 months, had transferred money in 11 separate transactions, had helped choose the venue and the caterer and the florist, and had been, until approximately 6 weeks before the event, under the assumption that I was doing all of this as the maid of honor. I was uninvited 6 weeks before the wedding, by text message. This is that story.
Subscribe if you're new here. It's free and it matters. Now let's go back to the beginning.
My sister's name is Brooke. She is 2 years younger than me. We are 29 and 31 respectively. We grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, the only children of parents who were loving, somewhat chaotic, and chronically underfunded. Brooke and I were closest children and drifted into a more complicated adult relationship that I can describe as, I loved her very much. And she often behaved badly, and I adjusted my expectations repeatedly rather than addressing it. Brooke has always been, I am going to use this word precisely, a person who takes what is available, not maliciously exactly. But she has a consistent pattern of using what people offer without much reflective accounting of what they might need in return. I had known this for years. I had worked around it. I told myself it was just how she was.
Brooke met Derek at 26. He is fine, a project manager, pleasant, a little passive.
They got engaged after 2 years. Brooke called me an hour after Derek proposed. She was ecstatic. The engagement was in March. She wanted a June wedding, which gave them 15 months. In that call she mentioned, almost in passing, that she and Derek didn't have a lot of savings and the wedding might have to be small. She said she was worried about disappointing Derek's family, who were expecting something real. I said, "How much do you need?" I want to sit with that question for a moment, because I have sat with it many times since. I asked how much she needed before she asked. I offered before I was asked. I have asked myself why. And the answer is, I had been trained by years of being the capable one in our family to preemptively fill gaps. I had never unlearned it. She said she didn't know yet, but would I help her figure out the budget? I said yes.
Over the following weeks, we built a budget together.
Brooke's priorities were a good venue, good food, good photos. She wanted 120 guests. She wanted a real wedding, not a small wedding. The number we arrived at was $52,000. Brooke and Derek had $14,000 between them. Derek's parents were contributing $8,000. That left a gap of $30,000. Brooke looked at me when we got to the end of the spreadsheet. I said, I can help cover the gap. I had savings. I had been saving aggressively for a few years. I work in financial planning. I had $80,000 in a high-yield savings account earmarked for a down payment. I offered $30,000 from my savings to cover the gap. I told Brooke I considered it a gift, not a loan. I told her I wanted to help. She cried. She called me the best sister in the world. Over the following 8 months, I transferred $37,940. The budget grew, as wedding budgets do. I was also doing the planning. Brooke was not organized and Derek was indifferent, and so I became the de facto project manager. I booked the venue. I vetted caterers. I coordinated with the florist. I drafted the day of timeline. I was her maid of honor, her only attendant.
Derek's sister's name is Vanessa. She had not been part of the planning.
She lived in Dallas and had a complicated history with Derek, some old family drama that I never fully understood. About 4 months before the wedding, Vanessa and Derek reconciled. It was apparently an emotional process. Derek was happy about it. Brooke was supportive. I was glad for them. Family reconciliations are good. I thought nothing of it. I should have seen what was coming. Looking back, the shape of it is obvious.
6 weeks before the wedding, on a Tuesday evening, I received a text from Brooke. It was long.
The summary: Brooke said that Vanessa was fragile right now, and that having me in the wedding would make her uncomfortable because Vanessa felt intimidated by me. She said the family dynamic was complicated and that she wanted the wedding to be peaceful. She said she knew this was unfair and she was so sorry. She was uninviting me because she thought it would be too painful and awkward for everyone. I sat with my phone for a long time. I had transferred $37,840. I had spent 8 months planning this event, and she had sent this by text.
I called her. She didn't answer. I called again. She texted back, "I can't talk right now. Can we talk tomorrow?"
I said, "No, Call me now or I'm driving to your apartment, she called. The conversation was one of the most painful I have ever had, not because she was cruel, but because she kept apologizing while also not changing her position. I asked directly, "Are you uninviting me from your wedding?" She said yes. She said she would make it up to me. She said I would always be her person, her real sister, the one who mattered most. I said, "Brooke, I gave you $38,000 for this wedding." She said she knew. She said she would pay me back. I said, "That is not the point. You are telling me I can't be there because your future husband's sister is uncomfortable."
She cried. I did not. My parents found out within 24 hours.
My mother's reaction was volcanic. She called Brooke and said things I don't know the content of, but that apparently ended with Brooke in tears. My mother's reaction was volcanic. She called Brooke and said things I don't know the content of, but that apparently ended with Brooke in tears. The wedding proceeded. My mother did not attend. This was her choice. My father attended because he felt he needed to be there for Brooke.
I had called the money a gift. I had meant it. After the phone call with Brooke, I thought about the money for a long time.
I talked to a lawyer friend about it. Not to sue, just to understand. Recovering it would be difficult. More importantly, I had to decide what I actually wanted. I decided I wanted acknowledgement more than I wanted money. I wanted Brooke to understand what she had done, the full version, that she had treated the person who gave it as optional. I wrote her a letter, not an email, a physical letter, written by hand. I described what I had done and what I had expected and what she had chosen. I told her I was not asking for the money back. I told her that what she had done would take a very long time to undo. I mailed it.
Brooke sent me a response letter about 3 weeks later. It was genuine. I believe she wrote it genuinely.
She acknowledged everything I had said. She said she had been a coward, that she had known it was wrong while she was doing it. She did not ask for forgiveness. She offered to pay back what she could. I have not asked her to pay anything back. We have been in a slow, careful rebuilding process. Vanessa, for what it's worth, was the maid of honor. The wedding was beautiful. My sister looked happy. I am glad she was happy. I am also glad I know now what I knew then, that my sister was capable of using me, that love and use are not mutually exclusive.
I am 31. I still have most of my savings. I am still working toward a down payment.
I do not regret helping with the wedding, exactly. I regret the innocence with which I did it, the assumption that generosity is always safe because it comes from love. Love is not a contract, but it is also not nothing. It carries weight. It creates something between two people that, when violated, takes time to rebuild. My sister and I are trying. I have decided that trying is worth it, with appropriate recalibration of expectations. But I will tell you this. I have not offered to fill a gap since that day without being explicitly asked, and without making sure the person I am giving to understands what they are receiving. Those are hard lessons. They are also mine now. Thank you for listening. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.